Hey guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the easiest way to graph an inequality. It's pretty straightforward, but sometimes it can get a little confusing. But first let's go over the inequality signs. Okay, so we have greater than. Okay, so when you read this, if you see this symbol where it's pointing to the right, sorry, my handwriting's not great on this. It means greater than. When you are graphing it and you are graphing an inequality and you see that symbol, you use an open circle. Okay, you may see the same symbol but with a line under it, and that means greater than. Or equal to. So how we show that the number could be equal is we color in that circle. So we call that closed circle. If it's pointing the other direction, that is less than. And again, it's not or equal to, so we use an open circle to show that. If it does have the line underneath it, it means that it is less than or equal to, and we show that by coloring in the circle when we're graphing it. So if you have the line, you color in the circle. If you don't have the line, you don't color in the circle. Okay, so I feel like the easiest way to talk about these is to ask this question: is the variable bigger or smaller? So if I have x is greater than 5, so if you hear the way I read that, x is greater than 5, answer the question: is the variable bigger or smaller? In this case, it's bigger because I said that it was greater than. So on the number line, we go to the 5. We will do an open circle. Okay, it's open because it is not an or equal to. Remember, if it does not have the line underneath the inequality sign, then we do not color in the circle. And then if the variable is bigger, which it is in this case, you want to point to the numbers that are bigger than 5. So that would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 would be this direction. So everything in this direction, and we show that with an arrow. Pretty easy. Okay, so what about this one? This is where it maybe gets a little bit tricky. -3 is greater than or equal to x. So we have the or equal to line there, so I'm just going to make a note so I don't forget in a minute. I'm going to close in that circle. And then what do you think? Is x bigger or smaller? If -3 is greater, that would mean x is smaller. So right now, the sign is greater than, but what I'm saying is that x is the smaller thing. X is smaller. So when I go to -3, it's a closed circle because it could be -3, and then it has to be everything smaller. Smaller numbers are always to the left, so we go to the left. Some people will tell you that the arrow is always pointing in the same direction, but as you can see in this case, that's opposite. The reason it's opposite is because my variable is on the left side instead of the right. So if you want to remember that rule, you can. Just know that if it's backwards, if the inequality is written backwards and the variable is on the right, then that's going to be opposite. Okay, let's try another one. X is less than -2. So your first question is open or closed circle. You should say open because it's not or equal to. Is the variable bigger or smaller? And we'll read it again. X is less than -2. It's less than, so it's got to be smaller. Okay, so I go to -2. I do an open circle. I point to the numbers smaller. Smaller is always to the left. Okay, I hope that makes sense and helps you out with inequalities, especially when that variable is on the wrong side. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.